It's not boy howdy, but it is boo howdy. Petey was all ready with his cowboy hat to celebrate his guy's big night, which we still will, but man, what a loss. 7th round of the shootout. You just wanted that win, but unfortunately, the Coyotes lose yet again. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes postgame show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button while you're here watching this. Hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Craig Morgan and Cowboy Petey.
Yeah, here on Nick Bjugstad night.
Nick Bjugstad.
Boy, howdy. Let's go.
Howdy.
Let's go.
LFG. I mean, if we're going to be positive out of the gate on a loss.
Yeah, but honestly, though, it's a road game against one of the best teams in the Western Conference in a 7-round shootout. 7th
round of a shootout. Which, who was it who said this is going to be a 13 round?
Yeah, Craig did. Thanks.
You? So Craig put that in the universe, and the universe said,
"Okay."
Look at James retiring Bjugstad's number.
Charles is okay. Nick's,
literally up in mullet next week.
So Nick says the side count, PD side count already at 1, and Charles says boy howdy count's already at 1. So chat. Keep on it. PD last count 1.
So Bill Armstrong, if you're watching, do me a favor and don't sign any more players from Minnesota. We don't want to have to endure this.
If Boyd would have had a good night, we had Boyd Howdy, another good Minnesota kid. Boyd Howdy, I thought that would have been good.
Let Pat Kane end up being an Arizona Coyote. You will not hear the end of it. Let's go Buffalo.
True. Oh my Lord. Well, it was a really interesting game for sure. The Coyotes led at one point in the game. Then they seemed like it was all hope lost when Nashville stormed back. It went to overtime, went to a shootout. Not necessarily what you want for a team that's trying to sink to the bottom of the standing, especially on a night where Anaheim lost yet again.
2 goals in the final 5 minutes.
So you don't really want that point for the Coyotes. But in terms of effort, I guess you can say it's a win. We always talk about, the small wins along the way, and them staying composed when they were down 3-2, coming back to tie it on a shorthanded goal, and then taking them to round 7 of a shootout. I mean, they have to feel pretty good about that.
Sure, of course. Yeah, compete, right?
Yeah.
Stay competitive, lose games. That's the formula this year.
Yeah, the biggest problem here tonight for me was the amount of times they made trips to the penalty box.
Oh my God.
Every time it looked like they were getting back in the box. I will say this, the game started off 1-0 on a Nashville Predator power play goal, and I think we all agree that the elbowing call to Nick Schmaltz in the first period was pretty
was a bad call.
Questionable. It's hard. Like, it's a follow through on a pass.
That was so bad.
So the guy ran into his elbow more than his elbow ran into the guy's head. So I didn't particularly love that call, and that puts the Coyotes down 1-0. And then they get a penalty in overtime. They get how many penalties in the third? Like, you got to stop taking penalties.
Well, let's look at the night by the numbers, because it kind of paints the picture of the penalty situation. Nashville was 2 for 7 on the power play, but that was just the number of power plays they had. The Coyotes took more penalties than that. And if you look down there at the bottom, the Coyotes had 21 penalty minutes tonight. That's an entire period of hockey that's just not going to do it for a win. To Nashville's 11. The Coyotes were 0 for 2 on their power play. Their power play is taking a little bit of a slide.
New personnel tonight too, yeah.
Yeah, which we'll get to in a minute. And then, man, those shots on goal, 46 shots on goal for the Predators to the Coyotes, 27. It was actually Connor Ingram's career high, 43 saves tonight. It wasn't all on Connor Ingram by any means, but man, those penalties, you just can't do that and expect to win a game. And they're lucky that they held on the way that they did, and the penalty kill did their best tonight.
Yeah, Connor Ingram had a chance in this one. The puck that trickled through on the shootout was unfortunate. It would have been a nice story, obviously, and come back against the team for which I believe he made his first NHL start. Apparently, the Coyotes are just getting goalies from Nashville now because Karel Vejmelka was a Nashville Predators draft pick as well. So maybe
I don't think I actually knew that.
Way back in 2015, but a better effort from him tonight. Actually, I thought he played pretty well tonight.
Yeah, I thought he played well, but there were points in the third period, even in the second, where he got beat clean and pucks rang off the post, and I thought he made
his rebound control too a little bit.
Especially in overtime, there were 3 or 4 consecutive shots that he drops by his feet
well,
to find the Preds, get the puck at the net.
And the defense was so tired, and they just needed him to hold on to it so they can change lines, and he couldn't. So.
But he was solid. He didn't, like, there were points early, and you go back to when he first got here in his first start. It was after we got back from Czechia, and he just wasn't all here. He was in the wrong time zone, and I think his game has progressed. I thought he was solid tonight. I mean, you play 7 rounds in a tie game on the road after traveling like that. Yeah, I thought he played well. Definitely not hanging this one on the goaltender at all. As a matter of fact, we're not hanging anything on anybody.
Yeah,
this is for this team. An overtime shootout loss. We're gonna take this. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, definitely. And somebody
except for the point.
Yeah, except for the point. Somebody had said you can't score a shorthanded goal if you don't take all those penalties.
Yeah, how about Bjugstad on the shorty?
At least if you're going to take a billion penalties, score a shorty.
And the shorty, by the way, let's talk about Nick Bjugstad's shorty.
We should probably get to the
He looked off the pass on the 2-on-1 bar and in. Like, boy, howdy, that's a hell of a shot.
It was a hell of a shot.
By the way.
He had
unbelievable
a
shot.
Terrific game. Had a goal in the shootout.
Oh, the goal in the shootout.
That one was nasty too.
We were all screaming.
We literally were on our feet for the boogie goal in the shootout. That was an unbelievable goal. I will say this: you need to get a goal like that, and he's a guy that doesn't usually get those shootout shots. Coach is saying, "Oh, he's feeling it. Let's get him out there."
I like that approach.
I do too, but now he's a guy that's earned it for the next time around. Yep. So that's a hell of a move. He'll get a shot because. When you look back at some of the guys who were like Christian Dvorak was money, but he had to get a chance because Christian Dvorak wasn't their top 3 high skill guy that's going to score those goals. But once you go, oh my goodness, he can actually really good at this. Adrian Aucoin, 5 straight game winners.
Yeah, bizarre, right?
Yeah.
But I do believe in the, like a lot of times they'll just go with the same script over again. It's the same 3 guys that always are your first 3 guys. Go with who's hot. Yeah, I like that. Who's earned it?
James pointed out too, Richie's goal in the shootout.
Oh my
God. When Richie was lining up to take that, I was thinking, there's no way.
He went forehand, backhand, and the backhand ended up on edge, so he was able to just flip it into the top corner. That was a great goal.
Yeah, and you're right. The one that Ingram does give up off the blocker and in, you're like, he had it. Makes the save on it, rolls back. And it's too bad. There are a lot of things this team did well. I thought they competed incredibly well. They had great chances in the first, other than we talked about the penalty goal. But they had 3 great A's in the first period. I thought they hung around it. And then when it started to look like, they gave up those 2 in less than a minute, you go, this is going to get ugly.
I thought it was going to go way off the rails.
Yeah, so did I. I thought it was going to go off the rails. So this is another testament to this team and their ability to stay in games and keep working hard. And this fan base just is asking for that. Just keep working hard and keep competing. And this team did that all the way until the final buzzer.
And I know that we're sitting here saying, maybe they shouldn't have gotten the point. But the fact that we were at one point like screaming and yelling watching a Coyotes game in November, like that's the things we're excited about. We're not, and it's funny because we're sitting there watching the Cardinals game also. The Cardinals crew is here, and the Cardinals obviously had a tough night, but in the beginning they're screaming and yelling the whole time, and Petey and I literally looked at each other and said, would we ever feel that way? Like maybe if the Coyotes
we're not gonna yell at the TV.
The Coyotes were in the playoffs, and then the 6th round of the shootout,
we're on our feet.
So you take the small victories, and it you got to enjoy it because it's a long season, and I'm glad that our overall energy right now is somewhat positive, more positive than negative, because we've had a lot of negative nights, and there's plenty more to come.
The Cardinals crew in the studio too helping keep us up.
Actually
by comparison, feeling good about our team situation. So
we're feeling great.
That's the first time we've had a full house in the viewing room, like full house, where we had to bring in folding chairs.
Yeah, there were, but luckily the rolling chairs are from Moore too,
so we're all more.
I'd like to point out that 2 of those chairs were taken up by somebody playing a video game, but I'm not going to name names.
It was like for half of the first period.
Yeah, and it was FIFA. It was, and I wore my red.
So it was appropriate.
I did wear my red, white, and blue for the football
I
team
got
today.
my blue and my
Yep, you were.
red.
That's you
blue and white.
Yep.
So
For the
Were you whales in the video game show? Wow.
No,
Did I bring that up again?
No, because I actually won. Didn't just draw.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's get back to this one. PD, you had some keys coming into tonight. Let's go over those.
Well, I watched Nashville play today, and more than half of their goals come from inside the blue paint. Either shots from the point that are tipped and screened, or passes that come inside and they get in there for the rebound. They're really dangerous around the blue paint. And I thought, for the most part, the Coyotes defended very well around the blue paint, except on that rush goal where we saw Shane Gostisbehere drift back into the crease. And I wish he would have played that one a little bit stronger and was able to help that pass that got to Duchesne for their third goal. So that one was a little disappointing. So I think overall they were pretty good around the crease. And when they weren't, they were either saved by Ingram or the post. The new lineup, Schmaltz and Chychrun. I thought Schmaltz looked really good for not playing for so long. I thought he added the offense. I thought he had 3 shots on goal that I thought were dangerous. There was one in the first where, if not Saros getting his leg out, that's in the net. Chychrun, it's going to take time. It's harder to play defense than you're just...
Yeah, much bigger difference in the layoffs too, right? 6 weeks versus 8 months. Yeah,
that's
I thought he
unreal.
played. There were a couple plays he played really well, taking guys into the angle them into the corner and pushing guys off the puck. It's going to take time for the kind of game that Jakob Chychrun plays for him to be at full speed and full game speed, to be that offensive threat that's jumping up in the play. He did get reps on the power play, and to Craig's point, I think that was one of the things. We'll talk about the power play after this, but I think that was one of the issues. And the dad's trip, if you're a dad on this, I mean, I will say this about, let's talk about Nick Bjugstad again, because we like to do that. If your dad tears up talking about you in the intermission, buddy.
Somebody earlier said Nick Bjugstad's dad for king of the game. And
Hell
you know
yeah.
what? We did float that idea.
Discussed.
We did
If
discuss
you tear
it.
up talking about your kid playing in the National Hockey League, that's king for me. That was
what
money.
a special night for the Bjugstads.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And for his dad to get to be
It's
there.
cool. But if you're a dad, you went out on Nashville last night, you were out on Broadway having a good time, you're at Tootsie's, and then you get to see a game like this.
Yeah, Love and Exile. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, those are the classy guys. The rest of us are at Tootsie's at the rooftop.
Petey once explained to me the exact table he sits
Yeah, I'm gonna
at
tell you, yeah.
at Tootsie's.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
good spot. It really is, actually. Tootsie's.
you have
Yeah.
to pay for it.
So this is a great dad's trip
Well,
already. And so now they'll head off to Carolina and see what happens there. But I think this is for the dads. Again, I'm not taking this as a loss. 7th round in a shootout against that team. I'm not taking it as a
Do they still? I mean, it's quite a. When you think about the trip for the dads, those are the only 2 stops for the dads. Nashville, which Nashville is Nashville. Are they still staying at that hotel that's like out in the woods where you can go bird watching and?
No, the Umstead? No, they're not out there anymore. They're at that one. It's actually a nice little area. It's kind of like akin to a Kierland area.
Oh yeah. I know that one too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember what I'm talking about? There's
I do.
It's
I don't know
beautiful
what's there's
property.
literally
Sure,
nothing
let's
there.
Go watch birds.
Pond. There's a pond. Pool. Pond. Pond would be good for you. Leah, anything? No reference? No. Seriously? Anybody out there? Pool, pond.
All right,
Pond would be good for you?
I got you, buddy.
You got Sean? Nope. Okay. That
Nothing?
makes you feel better.
Nope.
Jeez.
Another old guy reference.
Oh man. Okay. Well, let's round out our talk about Bjugstad because he did highlight this game. Not only did he score the goal in the second period and the shorthanded goal in the third period, he also had that unbelievable pass to Lawson Crouse to kick off the Coyotes scoring tonight. And for that reason, Nick Bjugstad finally
Look at that.
is the draft
Boogie's night.
king of the game. Woo!
Tell me somebody gets that reference other than Petey
Kelly
and
got
me.
it. Kelly got it.
Oh, see, I feel better now.
Caddyshack.
2 goals, 1 assist, 1 shootout goal for Nick Bjugstad in front of his dad, who is our runner-up king of the game. Because what a legend!
Let's go.
Petey has been waiting for this.
I voted for him
moment.
every game, and he went from 4 points on the season to 7, almost doubled his points in one game. He went from -1 to a +2 on the season, all in one game.
I got to tell you a story. When we were up at the ice
night
den,
train starts now.
when we were at the ice den, and you were
Boogie fever.
You were walking and talking with Clayton Keller. I thought you were talking to the Minnesota guys that day too, and I
was
saw
going
Travis
to.
Boyd, and I said, "Have you talked to Petey yet?" He goes, "No, am I supposed to?" I just figured he'd be talking to all the Minnesota guys. He goes, "Well, what else would you talk about other than Minnesota?"
I was going to. We're gonna.
We
I had
should
a
do
list
a
of questions.
round table with PD and all the
And the Minnesota
guys.
kids. We'll talk about the Minnesota
Like, we'll
State
just
Fair,
leave, Leah.
ice
We won't show
fishing.
up one day. It'll just be Travis Boyd and Boogie
Now that's
with Petey.
brilliant content.
Yeah, there it is.
Ice fishing.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm really happy for PD, and I'm very happy for Nick Bjugstad to finally be crowned king of the game. And if you put money on Nick Bjugstad anytime goal scorer tonight, you probably would have won big. I think that the odds on that would have been pretty high. So hope somebody out there did. Someone must have. I mean, who knows? People bet on all sorts of things, and you definitely can too on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And the Cardinals, unfortunately, not great for them tonight, but there's plenty more football this week. Thanksgiving football games are coming up. I know we don't all love football on Thanksgiving, but a lot of people do. And if you want to spice it up, you can bet on those games. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code PHNX. Place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets. If they do, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And we talked about wearing our red, white, and blue. I don't know if anyone saw on the PHNX Sports Twitter or Instagram story today the scene at Four Peaks.
That was great.
When USA scored that goal. That was absolutely unbelievable. We had it on in the office today. Everybody was stopping what they were doing to watch that game today. It was a blast. And if you want to be part of that camaraderie, that celebration, everybody, this is a once every 4 years event that we can all watch together. Head on over to Four Peaks. You'll have your next chance to do so actually tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. at the Four Peaks H Street Pub. And it's going to be a breakfast buffet for Mexico's first World Cup match at 8 a.m. Be there at 8 for a delicious buffet, drink specials, and an appearance from rising head coach Juan Guerra. So that's fun. Guerra? I always say it wrong. Guerra. There's also $3 kit lifter and Wow Wheat pints. And we'll have more USA watch-alongs as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, we did our part, right, at PHNX. We had the party. All that went well. The only side that didn't hold up their end of the bargain was Team USA. You don't like it when I bring this up?
What are we doing
We don't
here?
need to be negative.
Why are you rooting against
on a
USA?
Day of,
I'm just disappointed
on
by
a
the U.S.
day
men's
of
team.
draws.
It lost to a team, from a nation the size of New Jersey with a population the size of Nevada.
It was a draw.
It was a
Oh,
draw.
and if you're
it was
listening,
a draw. It was
turn
a
it off.
draw.
It's round
Wales
robin
scored
play.
its first goal in the World
Everything's
Cup
okay.
in 6.5 decades.
Hey, I will say this. Tim Weah scored for the United States, the first player to score on Wales in the World Cup since the one and only Pele. So, Tim Weah, and that's
You
Pele.
know who didn't
maybe.
score, though, tonight?
Kristen Pulisic?
No.
Oh, we're talking.
Clayton Keller or Travis Boyd, and their point
PD's
streaks.
like, all right, we're going to
Their
get out
point
of here.
streaks are now ended, which is unfortunate.
Sad.
But quietly, the big man, as Tyson Ash likes to call him, Lawson Crouse, with his 7th of the year already, ties for the team lead with Clayton Keller. Clayton Keller and Crouse both with 7 goals. And I tell you, that shot was absolute money on a phenomenal sauce pass from Nick Bjugstad. But that shot was bar and
I
end.
thought we were done talking about
Pass? Wow. No, but Lawson Crouse sat here and said he wants to get 30 goals this year. Sat here and said it on this show.
There were so many national predictions. I read so much media about the Coyotes giving Lawson Crouse that contract and saying, what are they doing? Was this just an anomaly? His underlying numbers don't show. This is one of those situations where I just wanted to just rip something up because I watched Lawson Crouse all season. You guys watched him all season. Yeah. You know what he did. You know what kind of player he is. You know what kind of person he is. I expected him to take another step forward, and that's what he's doing. He's taking advantage of his opportunity, and right now he's looking like he's going to blow past 20 goals.
Yeah, and he's taking a leadership role too with this team. I think he shows every time his feet are over the boards, he's working his ass off. He's hard in the corners. He fights for his teammates, gets to the net hard, and he can add offense. I tell you what, he's secondary scoring on the power play. He's done everything he's asked, and most importantly, when he signed that contract, he said, I want to be here. I want to be a part of this organization.
And he took it up a notch. That's the other thing you want to see when someone signs a contract.
Yes.
Take it up another level. That's what he's done.
And I was kind of picking on Clayton Keller a little bit. He's still a point a game guy.
I know.
Because he just sneakily, quietly does it. And I thought the last game, the game prior to this one, I thought was the best game of the year. Today, again, it's going to take time to play with Nick Schmaltz and them to find. There was a couple times tonight where they found each other through the seam and they made a nice pass and made a nice play.
They definitely still have that energy together.
Without a doubt, but it's going to take time, and it most evident on the power play, where I thought adding 2 new bodies to a power play that's hot, and not only add 2 new bodies, you move Gostisbehere from the right circle to the top, so you're adding 2 and moving guys around. So the only guys, you had 2 guys in their original positions are Keller and Ritchie. They haven't had time to work on it.
Nope.
So am I surprised that the first power play unit kind of stumbled a little bit and I don't think they clicked? I think that absolutely makes sense because they shuffled everybody around. But you give that group of 5 some time. I like Nick Schmaltz down low because I think he can be a down low play option, where I think Travis Boyd was more of a rebound option and he was picking up garbage in front. I think Schmaltz is going to be a guy that can drop off onto the goal line and make plays like we saw Michelli do earlier in the year to Crouse. So I think it adds another element to a power play once they get comfortable with each other.
Yep.
Definitely. They just need more time for sure. Well, we talked about the shuffling of the lines and such, and to make room for Chychrun and Schmaltz, there were some changes that had to be made. And Dylan Guenther was actually a scratch today to make room for Schmaltz, and then Mayo was out again to let Chychrun back into the lineup. So it kind of, we've debated what sort of roster moves will be made to accommodate these players returning. What did you guys think about Dylan Guenther sitting this one out?
It didn't surprise me, actually. Just knowing how they're trying to manage this. Look, I don't think it's a surprise that he's going to be in and out of the lineup a little bit. I think he's, to be honest, if we're being honest about Dylan Guenther's game, I think he's faded a little bit. I don't think he's as effective as he was early on. And there's some value, I think, to guys taking a step back, working on some things, and then get back in the lineup. But as I wrote about, when they decided to keep him, if you keep him under 40 games, that delays, his unrestricted free agency for a year. And I really think that's going to happen, to be honest. When you look at where he is, if he goes and plays in the World Juniors, if he takes that 2-week conditioning stint after he gets back in Tucson, if he's in and out of the lineup, they can keep him under 40 games. They can still give him enough of a taste of the NHL, enough experience being around, high-end trainers, high-end nutrition, high-end players, living this life where I think he can benefit from it. It's a tough balance, right? You don't want him to be sitting too much because then you go back to the question of, okay, well, why did he stay in the first place? I just don't think with the situation in the dub, they thought he was going to really gain anything from it. It's a shame. He's one of those tweeners. You'd love to be able to send him to Tucson and let him play, but you can't do that
for me, Craig,
agreement.
He's 19.
Yeah.
And he's never played this much hockey in this many days in his entire life. At this pace, at this speed, it's okay. Take a deep breath. Watch it from the press box. See the game from a different angle. Learn a little bit. And I think that's most important. What we used to do with young guys is give them a task. Give them something to watch from up there so that they're keeping track, or make sure they're learning something for their time that they're sitting out. This in no way says anything about his development or where he's headed for this team. It's a chance for him to take a deep breath, sit down, and go, okay, I'm tired, like physically tired and mentally tired. This is a hard grind, especially we're doing what they're doing on the road. And I said it during the game tonight. Don't be surprised if you see Matias Michelli sitting a game out too now, because for him, a couple of nice plays, but I thought he turned the puck over way more than he has in the past. He pushed off the puck more in the first 30 minutes. And I think, again, it's not going to hurt him to take a night off and sit and watch from the stands too. So I think you're going to see some guys coming in out of the lineup. And I don't know if they're going to continue the 11 and 7.
Yeah, that's what's weird to me.
I don't know.
It's a little bizarre.
I mean, and Zach Cassian's on IR. He's not going to be back till the end of this month or early December. So are you really going to go that long with this
it's
alignment?
Something that's unusual.
It's kind of strange. Yeah.
You look at when you do it, a lot of times with 11 and 7 is when you are thinning your roster down to 21 guys. You don't have an extra forward and you're on the road. You go 11 and 7. Or in the case of Jakob Chychrun coming back from a long injury, they're going, hey, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to eat those kind of minutes, or if a guy that's just coming, had a day-to-day guy that you're bringing back in the lineup just to make sure we can't be short a guy. It's very important you can't be short a defenseman. But Bear seems to like this. Like he's gone 11 and 7 for 4 straight games now. Like, that's unusual. And it makes it, in my mind, it gets that extra forward that's going, the ability to get more ice time. So when Kelleher's going, you're jumping him out every third instead of every 4 or 5. But it makes it much more difficult to juggle your 7 defensemen.
Yeah.
Especially when you're taking penalties. So it's harder to get guys into the game. So we'll see how long he keeps going.
And with the situation on D, the other guy that came out, of course, is Dyson Mayo, and we've been suggesting that he might be the guy. He struggled a little bit this season, but Connor Timmins is on a conditioning stint. Can I go into this now?
Yes, and also one more thing is Josh Brown did leave the game with an injury and did not return. We don't know the extent. We tried to go back and watch it. We couldn't really see anything that happened. Yeah. Obviously, we'll try and get more information.
Yeah, in fact, Petey found the segment where he was supposed to go out of the game, and we didn't see anything.
Yeah, we didn't see anything.
Last shift of the game, he finished and looked good.
So if he's out just for the rest of tonight, or if he's out for an extended, that could play into this too. But yes, Craig, go on about Connor Timmins.
Yeah, and it's funny because these things often have a way of taking care of themselves. You think, how are they going to work Connor Timmins back into the lineup? Well, maybe they will now with Josh Brown out. But when you look at the numbers on D and you look at the guys that could be the odd man out, Dyson Mayo is obviously one of those guys. Could end up going back to Tucson at some point here. Patrick Demuth could be another guy that comes out of the lineup. But then there's Connor Timmins. Yeah. What do you do with Connor Timmins now? He hasn't played a lot of games. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy in the NHL. There's a line of thinking that maybe you want him to play in the AHL, away from the pressure, just get reps, a lot of ice time in different situations, and get his legs under him again. But in order to do that, you have to waive him to send him down after this conditioning stint ends on Wednesday. So what do you do there? We saw a report from Elliot Freeman that the Toronto Maple Leafs are actually interested in him. Would the Coyotes maybe try and move him rather than risk losing him via waivers? Or do they say, you know what, we got to bring this kid up, even though he's not going to play in the same situations with the Coyotes that he might with Tucson. We need to see what we have here. It's hard to give up on a big right-handed defenseman who's that young, especially when you look at this organization and look at what they have both on the roster now and in the pipeline. How can you give up on a guy like that when you just don't have a lot of depth on defense as it is?
And that's the problem, because on the face value, he's played 2 games this year, and he's didn't play last year because he was injured. He hasn't played enough games, and the only way to get him up and running and playing games is in the American League. I think you're right. I think he needs to be in the American League. I think he needs to play a lot of games, get a lot of reps, and really get his game to where everybody thought he could be at this point. He's not there because he's not getting the games. The problem, I don't know if he clears waivers.
I don't think he does.
I don't think you can risk it. I just don't.
So you got a right-handed defenseman so do you trade him?
Yeah, I mean,
do you give him away for free through waivers and somebody just grabs him, or do you go, oh gosh, you know what?
But what are you going to get for him? I mean,
it's
not much,
pick.
Right? Yeah, it's not much.
He's not a top 3-round pick right now because he hasn't played.
Nope.
I don't. The concern I have is the future. It's not this year. I'm not worried about this year. Like you can band-aid it. We've talked about Brown, Nemeth, Stetcher. They've got enough veteran defensemen that you can get through this season. It's next year and the year after. At his age, he's a guy that should be here 2, 3, 4 years if he's an elite right-handed defenseman. So what do you do? Do you keep him on your roster for the next 70 games?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Sitting there? It's hard. It's something they're going to have to address and deal with, especially now that Chychrun's back and healthy. So, that's why GM BA gets paid the big bucks, because he's got to juggle these kind of lineup decisions.
Yep, it's true. Blatantly, Asinine said Colorado played him in the AHL. It's been done. The Yotes got to bring him up. I guess we'll see.
The other one I saw, did you see the comment where they're talking? We were talking about Dylan Guenther sitting out today at 19.
I was going to ask you about that. I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about it on the show. What do you do? Do the other players have the power to get him into a bar?
He's underage? 19. He's in Nashville, and not only that, he's with his dad. It's like a dad strip for Pee-wee's. Okay, son, time to get to bed. Lights out. But I want to watch David Letterman. Yeah. No, son, back to bed.
Okay, we'll go to the IHOP. Let's go to the IHOP and get some pancakes.
Another dated one.
It's just dated. No, you're right. His dad in the hotel getting buckled while all the rest of the team is out on Broadway.
By the way, and Roaring Fork had mentioned this earlier, and I also had the same thought while we were watching the shootout. Man, would it have been cool to see Dylan Guenther get in one of those 7 rounds, because we see him as a goal scorer. The goals he scored this season, some of them have been extremely high skill. So, I mean, it'll happen eventually. We'll see it. We just got to be patient. It's hard. I think it's easy to get frustrated and want the development of these players to happen quickly. We all want instant gratification, but that's just not how it goes. Tyler said Nashville, more like Napville for the underage players. Yes.
Yeah.
And then also another funny comment from Tyler earlier. Arizona sports is the Coyotes trying to tank and getting a point every other night, and the Cardinals trying to win and getting embarrassed every week.
That is Arizona
It
sports.
is true.
By the way, you know who is older than 21?
Who?
All three of us. And you know where the draft is this year?
Oh, buddy.
As they say on the show.
I got plans for us.
I got plans. Howdy.
Boy, howdy.
I think you mean all 4 of us.
Oh,
yeah,
buddy.
come on. PHNX
howdy.
Coyotes
taking over Nashville.
Sean and I have never been. So
I've been to Nashville.
okay, I've never been.
I
to
only
Nashville.
spent a night there when I drove across country to move out here. So
Yeah.
I could spend some more time there.
Just saying, it could be really
Yes, we
fun.
c- just saying.
The boy howdy count is now at it
6.
jumped from 5 to 6 real quick. The chat is talking about Barrett Hayton, so I feel like we should bring him up.
It's tough.
That was a PD level side.
And you know what? We're going to go with a guy that's picked 5th overall, and then as soon as you get picked 5th overall, you're a 5th overall pick for the rest of your career. And your expectations are aligned as such. 17 games, no goals. At some point, what is Barrett Hayton? Is he a 200-foot center? Well, he's minus 13.
Yeah.
So he's not doing that. He's killing penalties. Got to be a great penalty killer, and you better start blocking shots, and you better not be minus 13. So you got to be one or the other. He's a tweener for me right now. We've seen glimpses of Barrett Hayton being a very, very good National Hockey League player. We've slotted him as a number 3 center that can play on both sides of the puck. It just isn't been consistent enough. And it's too bad because we really like the kid and we like his effort and the way he works. It's not that he's doing these things because he's not trying hard enough. It's just not clicking for him right now. And someone said to change the scenery. I don't think that this franchise is ready to give up on Barrett Hayton quite yet.
You're not getting anything for him. He's a devalued asset right now, so it makes no sense to trade him. I just wrote about all this in the mailbag today. That's why I was sighing, because literally 3 people asked about Barrett Hayton. I just lumped all their questions together and just wrote a big chunk. It's exactly what you said. You can't give up on him yet, but at some point soon, Barrett Hayton needs to show something. You can't just keep saying, well, he's doing some good things away from the puck. He's got to produce. He's got to produce. You're 17 games in. I know we need to see it at some point soon. But
Barrett Hayton needs a night that like Nick Bjugstad had to.
That's it.
Like who?
Boy howdy.
Boy howdy.
But if I were you and you were on Underdog Fantasy picking higher or lowers for point totals, I would stay with the lowers for Barrett Hayton right now until he proves us otherwise. And maybe Nick Bjugstad hires. Let's go. Let's ride the Nick Bjugstad wave. If you used Underdog Fantasy tonight, you could have won some good money either by playing daily fantasy for hockey for the Monday Night Football game or playing the Pick'em game, picking higher or lower on player point totals. It's super fun. It's an extra way to make a couple bucks and just have a bit of fun with it. Managing a season-long fantasy team is tough, but you can play daily fantasy. You can draft against your friends, just 1 friend, 5 friends, 6 friends, or against the public. Seriously, there's just so much stuff you can do on Underdog. I highly recommend checking it out. We've all won some money here, and some people have won some big money here, including $400 and $1,000. So all of that you can get on Underdog Fantasy, and it's super easy to get started right now. Go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app, sign up with the promo code PHNX, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100, but they'll only do that if you put in money right when you sign up. So be sure to do it. I promise they will. They did it for me. They did it for everybody here in the office. And we've all had a lot of fun on Underdog, and we had a lot of fun tonight. We talked about all of us in our recliners watching multiple games on multiple TVs. We had to bring in the More Furniture wheelie chairs as well, but luckily all of our furniture here is super comfortable, and that's thanks to More Furniture. Sean has been having some great sleeps in his new bed.
Can confirm.
From More. So we love More, and right now they have a fall sale going on at morefurniture.com. That's morfurniture.com, and you'll receive a $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. It's it's the holiday season, giving season. Give some new furniture or a gift card to check out More Furniture.
Petey, you know what I want from you on Sunday?
What?
Well,
what?
That energy dropped really fast.
What?
So the Coyotes are going back to Minnesota. You may have heard this.
Oh no! We're never gonna hear the end of it.
It's a noon game.
It's a noon game.
Boogie and Boydie will be playing in Minnesota.
Yes.
You know what I want from you for the show for Sunday?
Yes.
A glossary of Minnesota terms.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can explain them.
You betcha.
yeah,
For
bud.
sure then.
Oh, yeah, bud.
We'll be doing it for sure.
My goodness.
Oh, you betcha.
Don't you know?
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, man. Well,
Well, Ole and Lena jokes. If you're from Minnesota, you know about Ole and Lena. Never mind.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
you know, and I don't know.
You might need to get Slindy back out here to guess.
Oh,
for
yeah,
this.
I
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
that she's
Slenderella.
from Minnesota. I just kind of said that in an accent. You know, Minnesota's close
Minnesota.
to Canada.
It is.
It is. PD, I wanted to ask you more about the dad's trip just because you've been in
Sure.
the locker room and you've been around dad's trips. Is there a different environment, different energy, a different motivation among the locker room to do well in front of the
There
dads?
absolutely is. And the vibe from the second they get on the plane, and you see people that followed the Arizona Coyotes on Twitter and Instagram saw them getting on the plane, it starts that second, the bonding and the way, you know, that the dads get to experience life through their kids' eyes, and the pride, and you saw it with Nick Bjugstad's dad tearing up, and I think that's the way the whole week goes. And I can't speak to how they're doing it now, but when I was around, they had the dads be a part of the team meetings, the video sessions, the pregame meetings. Like the dads were very involved. And the ones that struck me is, and I remember once Dave Tippett had the first dad's trip, and we were in a private banquet room, and he made players come up and thank their dads publicly and tell a story about their dad. And the player he brought up first, and Craig will know how good an interview he is, he brought up Christian Dvorak. Christian Dvorak doesn't talk. He's not a talker. He's like he might get, hey, we got hi. That's about it. But he had to get up and tell a story about his dad. And it was so touching and thoughtful. And guys were like, what? Trying to look away. Like, I'm not crying. It's really touching to see how important family is to these kids and having their dads around. And you know, you saw Stetcher had his granddad here because his father passed. So it was just really, it's really important. And I think it's important for them to be able to pass on the thanks to the people that helped get them there.
Remember this guy's dad?
The Ryan White dad in San Jose. So the other thing the dads do, it's vacation time for the dads too.
Oh boy.
So they've had dad trips in Las Vegas. Yeah. And the one time in San Jose, they do imbibe and they enjoy themselves on the town because they're not working. They're on vacation. They have no curfew. So some of the dads do stay with their sons in the room. Some of them do not. Some of the sons are like, hey, no, you're getting your own room. But so a lot of the dads do stay with their kids. But I remember Ryan White's dad, his son actually won a fight. Was it a fight that he won? And he might have used some profane gestures to the rest of the San Jose crowd.
Caught on film.
And it was on social media. And
Oh,
That was
my.
good stuff.
Oh my!
News, that
Well,
was
but yeah, it's great.
Legendary.
It's great.
Legendary.
I wish, we should have a mom's night in here. Maybe.
we totally should.
We should.
We totally should.
Bring everybody in.
We have a wonderful photo of all the dads in front of the team plane. This was yesterday. This is from Kelsey Grant of the Coyotes. If you're watching on YouTube, they all are wearing cowboy hats. It's amazing. And
The belt buckles.
the belt buckles. Also
Look at the belt
amazing.
buckles.
Buddy.
People in the Discord were saying, are they going to sell these? Because
I don't know.
They
There
would
was
buy them.
in the Discord, people were buzzing about the belt buckles.
I love it. Like, go all in on it. And PD's obviously wearing his cowboy
I
hat.
got my cowboy hat today for
But
the Nashville.
that photo is so priceless.
Got your buckle on too?
I do not have.
Okay.
I don't think my pants would probably fall down carrying that thing. That's huge.
Huge.
That's a big buckle. It is.
It's a big buckle.
Big buckle. We need that on the set here, though. That'd be neat.
I was about to say we should get one. For
No,
the
it's really
studio.
cool. I you know what? It's stuff like that that's cool. They gave it to all the dads. All the players had the belt buckle on. It was really cool. It was a cool thing, and they all came in the theme. It's fun. Hey, it's a game. Have fun with it. I think it was great.
And it all started for the love of the game as a little kid. And
Absolutely.
the reason you get into sports as a kid is because of one or both of your parents. And I'm sure for many of them, their dad played a huge role in getting them to play.
Yeah.
They, tying their skates as a little kid. And
unreal.
for all the drama that we talk about, this guy's not playing well, this guy doesn't want to play here. Like, it really, at the end of the day, it is a game, and it's really special.
I just felt guilty now, though, because we say that, like, I forget all these guys have dads. And you're like, oh, shit. When I'm talking bad things about them, and I think their dad's like, he's just trying. He's doing the best he can.
Tries hard, loves the game.
Yeah, tries hard, loves the game. Exactly.
Man. Well,
No, but I think that I think the dad should be proud of what this team accomplished today. They hung in there. Like, it was 3-1, and they hang around and come back for what they did. So I think it was great great way to start the dad trip. There's no one gonna be sad and pouting on the plane on the way to the next city tonight.
No.
Quick trip too.
Quick trip.
Yeah, quick trip
to Raleigh. Let's take a look at the map because they started us hot, and there's been a big slide here. 4 losses in a row after the 3 wins to start this road trip.
Got a point tonight, though. I almost feel like it should be in yellow because they got a point.
That's true. We might have to change it to yellow for next game. We got Carolina coming up on Wednesday, followed by Detroit Friday, Minnesota Sunday to round out segment 3. Is that the 3rd segment of this trip? Vegas is one on its own.
Yeah, Vegas is his own, I guess.
Yeah, we'll call it segment 3.
Do they get a win on this segment?
Chad,
maybe in mini.
If there's a win on the segment, which game? Carolina, Detroit, or Minnesota? That's question 1. And then question 2 is, do they get a win on the rest of this road trip? And if so, which city? Vancouver would be maybe my inkling, just because they haven't had the best season. For this segment, Minnesota, maybe they haven't had the best season, but not sure.
CWP saying Detroit. I'm with CWP on this one. I think they got a chance in Detroit.
I'm going with Mini.
Elliot said tonight would have been the game, I think. And that's true. We talked about the Coyotes owning Nashville and, overall playing really well against them, kind of dominating them. And when it was 2-1, we thought, okay, this might be it.
Yeah. I don't like their chances in Carolina.
No, I just don't.
And I think Carolina
well,
lost a heartbreaker tonight, so they're probably going to come back buzzing. But don't quote me on that until I find out. Yeah, they lost in overtime to Winnipeg, so they'll be coming back with a vengeance on Wednesday. It's not going to be an easy one. SZ said Minnesota, they looked bad against the Penguins. Roaring Forks said Vancouver and Minnesota feel like wins. Detroit scored 13 goals in their last 2 games. Although, remember when the Coyotes scored, was it like 9 goals against Detroit last season?
I do.
That was
You think
wild.
Detroit will remember that?
Yeah.
No.
Might be on the bulletin board.
Joel said Boston is going to be bad. Joel, we're not talking about Boston yet.
Yeah, please, Joel.
That's when we get to the home games. I don't want to think about that right now. So,
boy, howdy, that's going to be bad.
What boy? Please, someone tell me what boy howdy the count that was.
That's going to be bad.
But you know what lives on?
What lives on?
The Punchcard Voodoo Magic.
Punchcard Voodoo Magic.
Our new pattern, which is 3 wins per row. We were starting to get a little nervous, but it stands true. Only 1 punch left on this row. So if we're talking about that loss in Carolina, 3 wins per row.
In the magic.
If you believe in the magic of 3 wins per row.
Then it's hammer the Hurricanes.
Hammer the Hurricanes on DraftKings.
It's a lot of wins.
3
a
wins
lot more
per
wins
row.
than they had last year.
3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, yeah. We'll stick with it for now.
Okay.
Charles said the boy howdy count is 8. Brian said, never say never with this group. That's true. They tend to win games you don't expect. And lose
it's
games
very true. They play like this, they're going to win games. It's just a fact. They play hard enough. If their goaltending is above average, and I mean above average, they're going to need that to get wins. But they play hard enough. They're getting offense from different people every night. They can win games. And I don't think we could say that a year ago.
Yep, it's very true. And we're not going to talk about Boston, but I am going to talk about them for 1 sec, because when the Coyotes do come home in a couple weeks, they will be facing Boston right off the bat, which isn't going to be easy, but the Coyotes will be home for a good stretch of time since they've been on the road so much. If you want to get out to any of the games, check out Game Time. It's the best place to buy tickets for any sporting event. You can also grab tickets to ASU hockey. Ooh, and that brings up another thing, which I'll get to in a second. ASU hockey this weekend against Minnesota. Logan Cooley, Matthew Nyes coming to town. You can grab those tickets on Game Time. Cardinals games, Suns games, all of it. Check out Game Time. You can save up to 60% on tickets when you buy them last minute. And the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in our description. And speaking of Minnesota at ASU, now would be a great time to mention that tomorrow, Tuesday at 12 p.m., Logan Cooley himself will be a guest on the PHNX Coyotes live show Tuesday at noon. Logan Cooley joining us. So
props to Gophers Media Relations for making this happen. We're going to have Logan on for a full half hour tomorrow. Awesome. So we had a lot of ground to cover. And I think some Minnesota topics may come up.
I would think.
Yep.
That's the theme of the week.
Yeah.
Kids
Jeez.
in Minnesota,
Like
we're
the
gonna
theme
have
of
to
the
ask 'em.
season.
I need you guys to get him to transfer to the
Hit the portal?
Skidding, I guess. Arizona State Sun Devils.
Hit the portal.
Not a good.
I tell you what,
series at
get him,
Clarkson.
buddy.
No.
Get him walking around Mill Avenue this weekend.
Well, he can walk around there
I'll
when
be
he's
his
a Coyote.
personal tour guide. I'll
Dinky
do his
Town
laundry for him
versus,
if he wants. If it means he's coming to ASU.
We are not
Mill
suggesting
Ave.
anything here on the show. Let me make that clear.
You're not suggesting anything.
There it is.
But this is what it's all about. It's about these draft picks, and he's one of them, the 3rd overall pick from this year. Really excited to talk to him. And Nick said in the comments, it's the future. So
Yeah.
We're really excited to talk to Logan. So everybody be sure to be subscribed to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. It's 12 o'clock, perfect for lunch hour. Go out, have your lunch, take your lunch break, throw on YouTube on your phone and tune in and throw in some comments on the live chat there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really can't wait for that one. Nick said, happy to get Logan Cooley a beer when he's 21.
Exactly.
Good thinking.
He can go hang out with Gunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So really excited for that one tomorrow. And if you haven't had the chance, by the way, to read Craig's monthly mailbag, that was posted today.
It was
For diehards only.
Diehards
so
only.
Most of our content on the website is now free and unlocked to everybody, but there is still some diehard only content. And Craig mailbag is one of those because he spends a lot of time.
Yeah, this one wasn't so bad. And you know what? Most of the time, when people answer my mailbag questions for me, I go ahead and answer them anyway because I feel like I should probably give people some inside information rather than something else. But there were a couple instances in this mailbag where people actually handled the questions expertly. So I just ran the thread and decided I'm out.
No way.
Wow.
Go ahead and answer it for me. It's great.
Can we do
So
that?
if you guys can do that on a consistent
Yeah.
basis, I'm all for it because as I've stated many times on the show, I like it when other people do my work for
I was
me.
just gonna say, can we do that?
It's a good thing. Yeah.
Just call in
Yeah.
and I'll
We just have the YouTube chat.
Boogie and Boyd. I mean, Leah and I are off one day.
I'll just sit at home.
No,
No,
you got to be a
you're
part of it, buddy.
interviewing Boogie and Boyd.
Oh.
You're
And
like, I don't
Slindy
like
is
that.
guest producing. So all three of us get
Oh yeah, Erin Slindy.
There we
She's
go.
from Minnesota
Perfect.
also. Man, yeah, you all of a sudden regret that idea. But
Where are the
that's great,
Buffalo
man.
players at? Where are the no players from
Where are
Buffalo?
they at?
They'll come, Sean. They'll come. But if you're not a diehard, sign up today. There's so many benefits to becoming a diehard, not only to get access to the paywall content that you can also curate. You can sign up for certain newsletters for certain teams. So if you're interested in the Coyotes and maybe one other Arizona team, you can get that as well. You also get a shirt or a hat at sign up. And then every year after, 20% off on merch, 20% off on all events. You get a membership card. There's a ton of special things we're going to do. Maybe some Zoom hangouts, some happy hours, AMAs, all of that. Seriously, it's a great time to become a diehard. And with the holidays right around the corner, you can gift somebody a membership. It's a great gift. And check out the PHNX locker, by the way. On Black Friday, we're going to have up to 90% off everything.
Huh?
90.
And that's what it says.
90?
That's what it says. So if you need to get your holiday shopping done, I mean, the holidays are very soon approaching. And
I mean, I just basically buy for everybody.
I
right
would
there.
buy
That
every
like-
single thing in the locker.
Exactly.
I was genuinely
Everyone on my list.
earlier today being like, I wonder what I'm going to get my mom for Christmas. She loves repping like her, and my grandma
Go to the
Natalie
Coyote.
loves
There you
repping
go.
her children.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get them some PHNX.
PHNX.
I mean, I can't think of a better gift for the sports fans in your life. So head on over to PHNX Locker this Friday. And when you spend $75, you get a $15 gift card. So if you hit the link in our description, you can start adding stuff to your cart today. And like I said, if you're a diehard, you get 20% off in the locker all the time. And there's always new stuff dropping. So lots
Yep.
of...
There's Karen and Kelly, both diehards.
We
Kelly was
appreciate
at
our
the-
diehards and all the diehards in our I guess it's now not the members only Discord, it's the diehard only Discord. We have a ton of fun in there. Literally when Bjugstad scored, everyone was like,
I know.
Petey! It's a blast. Game days or not, talking hockey all day long in there. Tons of fun. You guys, is there anything else you want to get to from tonight before we wrap up?
I have one question. I apologize if I've forgotten this, but I seem to remember when PHNX Coyotes, the Twitter handle, went over 4,000, we were supposed to punish someone. And I don't think we ever got to that.
We didn't.
I don't. remember ever.
I feel like I remember this chat saying that the Sabres Yotes game was good enough as my punishment. I'm just saying.
I don't really feel like it is, actually. So while we have you live, we clearly passed the 4,000 followers threshold a while back. What should we make Sean do? Just let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We should send him to the Coyotes Sabres game that's here and make him wear a kachina and make him cheer every time the Coyotes score and boo every time the Sabres
Okay, first off, you're making it's not like that's hard for me. I love the Coyotes. Like I actively root for them.
I don't see that being punishment going to an NHL.
You have to wear a Minnesota Vikings jersey.
Okay.
There we go.
What are we doing here?
So how about U of A?
And I don't think it's fair making him eat something
Now
either.
we're getting.
We saw him
getting
eat
dirty.
We'll drop it in the Discord.
Sing All I
You
Want
gotta
for
go dressed
Christmas
as Wilbur
is
Wildcat.
You karaoke at 4 p.m.
Dressed as Wilbur.
Walk around mullet dressed as Wilbur Wildcat. How about that?
Where does that get me other than the hospital?
By the way, all the hashtag diehards in the chat really makes me happy. So love seeing that.
Can we talk about the Roadrunners too?
Oh yeah.
They're still tied for second in the Pacific Division. They've got their big long road trip coming up through California right now. So we're going to tune in,
The
make
whole
sure we get the
Coyotes
scores.
organization's on a
One in
road.
San Diego, 2 in Ontario, and then they're heading off to San Jose. So a lot of road games coming up for them, but they're hanging around, and we want to see the future. So we'll make sure we update you on those scores too over the next week.
Down the I-10 always. So
I like this one from Nick, just suggesting that I socialize with somebody. It's a real punishment.
That's actually hilarious. Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, let us know tomorrow or Wednesday in the YouTube chat and in our diehard Discord as well, or on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes what you want to see Sean do, and you can let him know too at Sean_DePaz on Twitter. You can follow each of us at Craig S. Morgan, at Leah Merrill, at S. Peters Hockey, and of course at PHNX_Coyotes and PHNX Sports across all social platforms. You're not going to want to miss that, because then you'll get all the Black Friday deals, all of that. And also Logan Cooley tomorrow at noon. Really can't wait for that one. Hope to see everybody here in the chat tonight there tomorrow, and let Logan know how excited you are to have him part of this organization. I'm sure make him very happy to see. Again, Coyotes lose tonight, 1 point, maybe not great overall. We're happy with it, and we appreciate everybody here watching, chiming in live in the chat, and we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Until then, everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.